It's Monday, February 17th, 2025. And this is episode 329 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike, any gambling at all since you went to Islands?
Not since then. Been real busy with school stuff, and then we've had some weather issues. So,
oh yeah, it's cold there?
Yeah, it's cold, and it snowed pretty good the last couple of days. So we have a lot of snow, and not so much the snow. It's just driving 2 hours in the sub-zero weather.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing, although I did enjoy the Super Bowl.
Oh, you enjoyed it?
Yeah. Let's see. I think I saw approximately 15 minutes of it.
You weren't feeling well?
I wasn't feeling well. I was sick. And then I also just kept falling asleep. So I saw the beginning and I saw maybe the last few minutes. Didn't see any at halftime or any of that.
Yeah. It's funny. I actually enjoyed the Super Bowl too, even though it was a blowout, simply because I was in a minute-by-minute 100-square pool with the poker gang. So, I was having to pay attention to everything. It worked out great for me because I had 0-0, same as last year. The guys said, oh, it's fixed, even though they saw us actually randomly assign the squares. So every minute you get paid. So, of course, the first several minutes of the game, the score is 0-0. And so,
right. Well, and they didn't score right away. And then wasn't it 10-0?
Yeah, it got to 10-0 for a little bit. I got a little bit more. So I did okay. Our friend Bill won the most because he had like 4-0 or something. I can't remember exactly what he had.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
But yeah, so I actually enjoyed watching what was, one of the worst Super Bowls, right? As far as it being a blowout and not close.
Casey got a few touchdowns at the end there.
Oh, yeah. The final score was not indicative of how lopsided it was. Yeah.
And those were scored in like the last 6 minutes or something, right? Yeah. So
very disappointing. I even tweeted when the Chargers went to the Super Bowl. What were they, 16-point underdogs? I mean, it was ridiculous. You don't generally see that for a Super Bowl. And yes, it was a blowout. Here, KC's favored by a point or two, and they get blown out, right? I don't know if it was as disastrous as the Chargers, but unexpected and disappointing.
Well, just the NFL trying to prove it's not fixed.
Oh, that's what they did. Yeah, they got so much pressure from...
They fixed it the other way.
Yeah,
so.
Just to make themselves look good. That makes sense. Once again...
well, they let people touch Patrick Mahomes, without whistles. And I think just fixed it the other way, that darn NFL.
All right, let's put that behind us. We got baseball coming up. We got March Madness coming up.
Oh, I can't wait for baseball. Yeah.
So we got an email from podcast favorite John B. He pointed us to a discussion on Reddit, and I'll post a link in the show notes, about what happens when a player bets on another player's side bet. Now, that has actually happened to me quite a bit because, I don't make side bets very often. Right. And every once in a while, I'll be at a table, I'll get all this harassment. Oh, you should have done it, when I would have won, that kind of thing. And people will say, oh, can I bet on your side bet? Right? Can I bet on your space? And I say, oh, yeah, no problem. And then if they win, I give them the winnings and, it's no big deal. In this particular post, the original poster said that there was this high roller at the table. And then there was this couple also playing who were novices to the game. It might have just been blackjack.
I can see where this is going.
Yeah, and so anyway... The guy eventually said, oh, can I bet on your side bet? And they're kind of confused. They don't, sure. Oh, okay. And he bet $100 on this side bet.
Wow.
And it hit. I think now that I'm remembering it, it was like a blackjack game where you have that 3-card poker side bet.
Oh, okay.
Right. Where you can bet on that.
Yeah, right.
And it was like trips suited or something, being dealt from a shoe, something like that, which pays 1,000 to 1. And, of course, in a table game, when something pays at odds like that, yes, a W2G needs to be...
issued to somebody.
Issued, right, and, it's like a hand pay. So, unfortunately, the original poster said that they saw what was going to happen and they left. They didn't want to witness what was going to happen here. So, I don't know what happened, but it seemed like something kind of interesting to talk about.
Yeah. So who'd they give the W2G?
Who knows, right? Because this guy didn't stick around. But that is a good question. Now, it's going to depend on, your location, what the rules are, who touched the bet, whose space was it on, et cetera, et cetera. So again, don't know what happened, but there are several possibilities. It could be that, okay, it's this high roller, it's his bet, give him the W2G, give him the money, fill out the tax forms, end of story. It could have been the case where, oh no, we have to issue the W2G to the people who are on that spot. And if that's the case, are the people confused? Wait a minute, we won some money. Oh, this is ours. Does an argument ensue? Who knows? Again, if it had been me, I would have anticipated that and say, oh, okay, that's fine. It's his bet. Give him the W2G.
Yeah.
But if they say, no, sir, that's your spot, here's the W2G, there is a tax form. It's the 5754 IRS tax form, where you fill it out if you've actually won money that is somebody else gambled on. You see this a lot with poker players.
Right.
Like if, I bought a PCU or something like that, they fill out this 5754. So, that's a possibility. Oh, Mark, we've got to give you the W2G because it's on your spot. And then I fill out a 5754 and give it to the other guy and give him the cash. Who knows, again, what happened in this situation, but you can see where it could result in confusion. You could have somebody angle shooting who's, oh, no, this is my money. And there's this big discussion and an argument and fisticuffs and who knows. But it's something to think about. And again, it's only on these bets that pay more than 300 to 1, which is the threshold for W2Gs on table games. When people have bet on my side bets, there's never a payout that big. It's usually, maybe the most is 40 to 1 or whatever. Anyway, that's just been my experience. But something to keep in mind if you let people bet on your side bet or if you bet on other people's side bets.
Right. Well, if I was the couple that was playing and it hit and they said, we're going to give you this W2G, I would have just said, fine, then I'm taking the money, all of it. I would give the high roller $100 and then just hand him a $5 for the effort. And, that's his loss.
Yeah. Again, I wish we had the end to this story, but obviously this couple wasn't very savvy.
No.
Okay, that's one extreme. The other extreme might be, okay, we're having to fill out this tax form, or, oh, hey, you bet on our spot. How about kicking a little back to us? You're getting 1,000 to 1 on a $100 bet. Give us, at least $500 or whatever.
Well, they'd have to give them a lot back, right? If they had to pay the taxes.
Well, yeah, that depends on who's paying the taxes, right? So we're not attorneys. We're certainly not tax attorneys. And we can't tell you what would happen at every specific casino, right? It'll depend on the jurisdiction. It'll depend on the casino's rules, the state's rules. Who touched the bet? Whose bet is it on? Et cetera, et cetera. You hear that case about, I think it was in Florida, where this guy let a woman pull the handle on his slot machine. Right, for good luck, and it ended up being jackpot. And it's like, who does it belong to? Well, it belongs to the person who pressed the button, right? Or anyway, it just makes for an interesting discussion, I think.
In our casino, we're going to have a big sign, when you enter the casino that says no betting on other people's bets. It's just not allowed. We'll either have that sign or we'll have a sign that says any disputes will be settled with a cage match.
Oh, see, I prefer that second one, Mike, because I don't want our casino to be prohibitive. Let people do what they want to do. And then, yes, have a cage, maybe in the center of the casino. So we've got another dispute. And sometimes it's a dispute with the casino. So one of us would have to go in.
Yeah,
and fight, right? Yeah. So I like that.
Or we could just hire a guy who's our disputes.
Oh, that's right. This is our silent partner. His name's Bruno.
Yeah. I see some little old lady on a slot machine gets in a dispute with some big, huge young guy.
That's right.
All right. Into the cage.
Into the cage, or you can just concede. It's up to you. Bruno doesn't care.
Oh, no, there's no concession, Mark.
Oh, they have to go in. Hopefully she's smart enough to just go down.
Yeah.
Just go down, Myrna.
I'd put my money on the old lady. You don't
Okay.
want to mess with them and their slot
That's
machine.
true, boy. Or if it's bingo. If it's a
Yeah,
bingo dispute,
if it's a bingo
yikes.
thing, there might be 20 people in there in the cage.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like the time I was picked to go in that cash thing where they
Mm.
they blow cash all around
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Remember?
Where was that?
That was at Silver City.
Oh man, talk about
Yeah.
back in the
Remember they
day.
had that big long
Silver
line
City.
of
Yeah,
tables, and in the
yeah,
middle, I had to get up there. They put like goggles on you and
yeah.
a white coat. I don't know why you needed the white coat, but then yeah, they shot
Oh, it's
money
probably so
around.
stuff wouldn't stick to you, right? Static electricity
Maybe.
is probably a coat that was.
Yeah.
You didn't do very well though in that thing, did you?
Oh, I got like $100 or
Oh,
something.
okay.
It
With
was
total.
mostly, yeah, total. It was mostly, I mean, I grabbed as many as I could, but it was mostly filled with ones and then,
Yeah,
a few fives and 20s.
yeah.
But I had like, I don't know what it was, 30 seconds. And I think I grabbed onto about somewhere close to
That's
100.
great. I wasn't there for that. I didn't witness
And
that.
I
So
think, yeah, Paul was there. I think Paul got picked later. It was like on the blackjack tables,
yeah,
your seat had to be picked or something. Yeah, he did better than me if I remember. I think it was Paul. Might
I'm
have been
sure it
Bob
was.
Bennett. One of those guys, and they did a little better than me. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of a fun thing, but yeah, it was filled with ones. I mean, come on.
yeah.
I think there was one or $200
Yeah, like
bills.
one in there. Then, if you were lucky enough
Yeah.
to grab it, yeah.
Yeah, and it blew hard. I mean, it was hard just to see.
We're gonna have one of those in our casino then as well.
Oh, definitely. It's just gonna be filled up with Tito tickets, though.
That's right. It's all the extra cents over a dollar. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I get a 99 center.
Andy, you have a winner after 30 seconds. Joe wins $1.23.
That's right.
Congratulations,
All
Joe.
right. Yay.
Oh, and a free well drink.
No, yeah, that's just standard.
That's standard.
Well, we got an email from our buddy Robin Aubin from NE Time Gambling. He sent us some questions about earning tier credits and reward credits, to use a Caesar's terms, while you're playing video poker. I'll kind of go through some background here to help so that people know that we're talking about, and hopefully we'll answer Robin's questions at the same time. So casinos award more points for slot machines than video poker, usually twice as much. For example, Caesars will give you 1 credit for every $5 you play through on a slot. But for video poker, you have to pay $10 through in order to earn that same 1 credit. Now, in some cases, the casino will make you bet even more on video poker to earn that 1 credit. That'll be the case when the pay table is more favorable. For example, Mike, you and I, we were playing in the high limit room at Bally's, Las Vegas,
Right.
which is now Horseshoe. And we were on a full pay jacks or better machine, 9-6 jacks or better. And we had to play $50 through to earn that 1 credit.
Right, to get 1 credit.
Yeah. And there was a sign on the machine explicitly calling that out. So in general, if any machine in a casino does not give you tier credits at the rate described in the Players Club details, there will be a sign on it. And in some of these table game machines like Roll to Win Craps or something, I've seen signs that say you won't earn any credits on this machine, right? So in most cases they do. They really should have it labeled. But
Yeah, wasn't there one roll to win craps where the guy said there was no credits?
oh, it's the
Could
one
be earned
at
on that?
Sequan. It
Yeah,
right next to
Sequan,
the
that's
regular craps table.
Right.
And I don't know why anybody would play there because they've kind of raised the limits on that roll to win. And, you might as well play real craps and get credit for it. Anyway, yeah.
Well, it's people who just don't even realize or care.
or care. Yeah. Now, there's no difference between bar top machines and machines that are out on the casino floor as far as earning tier credits go. However, keep in mind that bar tops typically have higher house edges. And in the case of video poker, that just means less favorable pay tables. So
Especially if
watch
they're
out for
giving
that.
you drinks. if
That's
you're in a
the
place
reason.
where
Yeah, it's
they
basically the reason, right? Is
serve
you're
drinks,
sitting up there.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing Robin asked, you probably have seen video poker machines that also have slots on them. Like on the left-hand side, you have choices: video poker, Keno. A lot of times, video Keno's on there, and some of them even have slots. It's just some kind of generic slots.
Right.
Now, according to Bob Dancer, who's like the authority on video poker. If you play slots on one of those video poker machines, you'll only earn tier credits at the video poker rate, not the slot machine rate.
So you're better off just going to a slot machine.
Yeah, and that's what most people do. I don't think a lot of people are using those video poker machines to play slots, although, I don't know, maybe if you're at a bar top and that's, you want to sit there and get the drinks and maybe you don't really like video poker or Keno, you want to play slots, fine.
Or, somebody gets, I'm doing so bad at this, and they switch over.
They just switch,
for a few minutes. Yeah.
Anyway, Robin asked us if that's true, and we'll just defer to Bob Dancher. I'm sure he's right. He knows what he's talking about there. So something to keep in mind, if you play slots on those video poker machines, multi-game machines, you're going to get paid at the video poker rate. So there you go. Thank you for the questions, Robin.
Yes, always good to hear from Robin. And maybe if we ever get back east again, we'll be able to see him on his home turf.
Yes. And, we've got a call from Cousin Vito later. So we'll talk about that very thing, maybe of us traveling to the East Coast again.
Okay. I was going to say that in our casino, what we're going to have is nothing posted anywhere, and it'll just be on the machine as soon as you put your money in. By the way,
it'll show up on the video display is what you're saying.
Yeah.
By the way display, is how it'll start. Yeah. Okay.
It'll start off with, by the way, and then it'll explain, what we're offering on that machine, whether it's no credit, no points, or, it's not 9.6, we'll give all the information that somebody needs.
All right.
And at the bottom, we'll put a little disclaimer that says, if you have any problem with this, or you didn't take the time to read it, then you go in the...
We'll see you in the cage.
We'll see you in the cage.
Yeah. That's good. I'd kind of prefer to just slap a label on the machine, but, if that's what you want...
Well, that can be pulled off or taken away.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Or somebody can claim they didn't see it.
Yeah, okay. Or you can take a Sharpie to it.
This will be one of those things when you put your money in, it immediately comes up, and you've got to check a box that says you agree with it, and then you have to check a box that says you're not a robot.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to pick out, there'll be like 10 pictures, and you'll say, which picture has the natural right back number in it? Something like that.
That's good. That's just smart casino ownership, Mike.
Yeah. Well, it's making everything plain and simple for the person.
Plain and simple. That's what we're going for.
There for 20 minutes. Now, what?
I just want to play.
What's a natural right back?
That makes no sense. Plus, the 9 is kind of blurred out, right? So a robot can't figure it out.
It has to be blurred out.
Is that a 9 or a bus?
Or just part of a 9. Hit the picture with the part of a 9. Well, that could be any of the pictures with a straight line.
Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. It's voicemail time. First up is Nathan.
Hey, you guys. This is Nathan from Indianapolis. Just calling to give a trip report. Actually went out to Vegas in November, so a little late getting the call in, but went out there with the family. Took my niece out there. She just graduated from college, got her master's degree, so I told her I'd take her out to Vegas to kind of celebrate. My brother and I have always been kind of gambling degenerates, and we've recently got my sister and his wife and a couple cousins going to the casino, so figured we'd keep it in the family and get my niece involved as well. But we stayed at Planet Hollywood. Great trip. Saw Dave Natasha one night at Cosmo, saw Mad Apple. First time I've ever stayed at Planet Hollywood. I really like it. Rooms are great. Casino's great. I gambled there before, but never stayed. In the past, I've always stayed at Flamingo. I just love the location. And the rooms are decent there. That place just needs a facelift. The casino itself is just so dark and dingy and outdated. It's kind of depressing going in there, but love the location of Flamingo. But probably changed up and we'll stay at Planet Hollywood moving forward. But yeah, I was out there for a football weekend. The football weekends used to be so fun in Vegas, and they still are, but the casinos are just nickel and diming everything to death with the sports book. I mean, we went downstairs on Saturday morning to find a seat. We were 2 hours before the football game started, and every seat was already reserved. Every seat, every table. We walked down to Paris and eventually got a seat there. But the thing for charging to sit at a sports book, I get it on, Final Four or March Madness or Super Bowl big events, but, just random football Sundays, Saturdays, it's pretty ridiculous to me. I guess I refuse to pay in order to lose money at the casino and gambling. The Flamingo Sportsbook, they ripped out all the seats and replaced them with slot machines. So there are about 20 or 30 slot machines in there. They still have all the TVs, still have a desk where you can place bets, but there's nowhere to sit anymore. So they are just looking to get every profit out of every single square foot in that casino. But yeah, for the Super Bowl weekend, heading down to Cherokee, North Carolina to go down to that casino, visit the Smoky Mountains over that weekend. So it should be fun. I know you guys were discussing it. So definitely I worked the trip. I've been a couple times. I know Dr. Mike said he may drive down. Cherokee is only about an hour from Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge over in Tennessee. So that's a nice little tour.
You got cut off there at the 3 minutes. And Dr. Mike, Cherokee, what plans have you made since our last episode?
I have made no plans since the last episode, but Lynn and I did talk about it a few times.
Really?
The potential for that. Yeah.
The potential. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, I'm going to keep bugging you. Early June, that's what we're shooting for, right, Dr. Mike?
That's what I was shooting for, yeah. School will end at the end of May, and early June be good to just go.
Stand by.
Well, I've written a letter to the City Council in Las Vegas and asked them to declare the Flamingo, needs to be torn down. They just need to declare that. I've also written a script for a new show called CSI Flamingo Vegas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's just all about all
just stuff that happens there because of all the like fluids and murders.
And murders and stuff. In all seriousness, you walk into that casino and it's like, this floor was probably last cleaned somewhere in the 80s.
Yeah. We've talked about it. We've never said, let's go play at Flamingo. We've played there because we're on our way somewhere else.
Right.
Look, that nobody's at the table. Yeah, let's do this. But
when the weather's too hot or too cold, you take the shortcut through Flamingo instead of walking outside.
Right. Yeah.
Or when the girls are dancing at night, they have that.
Yeah, they've got, at least last time we played there at night, they had some dancing dealers. Yeah.
Yeah, that place.
Caesars has a reputation for not really keeping their properties nice.
Yeah. They did example. Caesar's Palace. And, and they've got some other really nice, like, for instance, Planet Hollywood.
Yeah,
right?
Love Planet Hollywood.
It's really nice. And it's energetic when you walk in there. Oh, for sure. It's like things are going on, stuff's happening. You walk into Flamingo, and it's like you're walking into a CSI investigation.
And it kind of smells.
It kind of smells. Yeah. It's not like the stinky bathrooms at Caesars, but...
Yeah, you get close enough to that center bar there. It's pretty close to the stinky bathrooms at Caesars, I think. Yeah.
They're going to have to do something about that. I'll continue writing letters, folks. That's all I can do.
Mike's good at that. Nathan talked about, charging to sit in the sports book on NFL Sundays. They do it because they can get away with it,
right?
Obviously. Something interesting, though, and I guess this is tangentially on the same topic. Las Vegas was way less busy, apparently, than usual for Super Bowl weekend. A lot of the properties were trying to give away rooms at low rates as the weekend got closer. It's like, hey, where is everybody? Now, last year, the Super Bowl was in Las Vegas, so, of course, it's going to be huge there. Right. But that's kind of the buzz is that, hey, where is everybody? And, well, this nickel and diming could be a part of it. Also, we've talked about how suddenly local casinos are more convenient and offer a lot of the amenities that gamblers want. And hey, come to our Super Bowl party or our big game party, because I can't say Super Bowl. And, you pay a fee and there's free food and open bar and you can sit and watch the game and gamble. And so, Vegas might have to think about that.
Yeah, well, Super Bowl's over now, but I know that all the casinos around here had their parties.
Yeah.
And I've been getting a lot of stuff. They're all having these big things for the March Madness. They're where you go and they've got a bunch of TVs and they've got tables set up and they serve food and blah, blah, blah. And if you're a certain tier ranking, it doesn't even cost you.
Yeah.
And here's the big advantage. I got one of those and I was thinking about this. let's say, there were 10 of my friends here and we had to fly from here to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And there is more to do in Vegas and everything. Or we had the option of just for that weekend going to the casino,
Yeah.
which isn't going to cost us much, even for somebody who, say, doesn't want to gamble, just wants to watch the games
Right.
and have some drinks, right? They could do that as opposed to like, I don't really gamble, spending all that money to go to Vegas to sit here through
Well,
this.
spending all that money, if you're talking about a group of friends, maybe not everybody could go to Vegas that weekend.
Right,
Oh, no, my
right.
schedule just won't allow it. But, just,
Right.
down the street to the casino. Yeah, I can come for one of
Yeah.
those nights. Or, yeah, I'll meet you
Right, or
there.
an hour drive or something. Yeah. So, because once again, I always point to this, the sheer number of casinos now in the country has got to hurt Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, just-
Well, from a gambling standpoint, that's why Vegas has kind of pivoted. But I think they're going to take a serious look at, hey, how come, the Super Bowl used to be a really big weekend for us, and now it's just a big weekend.
Right. I think the only big weekends you're ever going to see in the real big weekends are going to be when there's some big, huge convention.
Yeah, or when the Super Bowl returns to Las Vegas, which it will, of
or
course.
a Super
So,
Bowl
yeah.
there or something. Yeah, some big event. Maybe when the A's build their stadium and get into the World Series.
Yeah, when the A's build their stadium, number one.
I won't be here
And then
for
get-
that because I'm only going to live 50 more years, so
Yep.
I won't be here for that.
All right. Hey, let's hear from our buddy Cousin Vito.
Mark, Dr. Mike, Cousin Vito here. Hopefully all is well, and hopefully your luck's running a little bit better than mine. I've been getting creamed every time I go to the casino lately. But, you live to fight another day. But I'm calling you to remember the better times. Remember a great time at the craps table. Because I've been telling a story, and I don't know if I've been embellishing, under-embellishing, and both you guys were there for this. And, Mark, it was actually about your bet. So I believe we were in Vegas. It might have been for a Zork Fest, could have been a Vegas vacation. We were at a craps table at Bally's. So put yourself at Bally's in Vegas. You're standing there. I'm at the table. Cousin Mikey's there. And you guys were both definitely there. A bunch of other people were there. I feel like Bogan was around the hook or something too. But Mark, you bought a four for either $25 or $50. And I believe, and I've been telling the story, that you worked this thing up to over $1,000. I could have sworn you were over $2,000, but I've been saying, over 1,000 because I didn't want to, be totally embellishing if I was remembering it incorrectly, because I think I was on the other side of the table and I just remember the excitement and the jealousy I probably had at the time to do that. I didn't get in on that. So yeah, Bally's, craps table, working the four up to something really high. So hopefully one of you remembers that and remembers the truth, because I've been spreading that story and, I could have been lying this whole time. I don't know for sure. And before I go, one more thing I want to throw out there. In the future, do you guys see any chance you ever might return to Connecticut if, if somebody invited you out here? Do you ever think you could see yourself back in Connecticut hanging out, maybe having a Hell's Kitchen burger, who knows, going to Mystic Sea in a submarine? But I don't know. Nice talking to you, and hopefully I'll get a chance to see you soon.
All right, great. Vito back podcasting again, so check out
it's
Cousin
nice to
Vito's
hear
Casino
Vito back.
podcast. Yeah. Well, I think I speak for you as well, Mike. We would love to go back to Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun. We didn't spend much time at Mohegan Sun.
No, it didn't go well there.
That was the problem. It wasn't just the luck, but also we just got a crew, at least, who seemed to be distracted by everything. So just one bad experience. You can't make a general opinion about the whole place, but we would love to go back there. I think what's really working against us here now, for me, it would be about an 8-hour flight with one layover. We'd fly into Providence, Rhode Island, like we did last time.
Right.
There's no direct flight. For you, Mike, I think there's no direct flight either. So it'd be about 4 hours for you, one layover. Then about an hour to drive from Providence to Foxwoods. Wouldn't it be nicer to just fly to Philadelphia, which is nonstop for both of us,
Right.
and then take the hour drive to Atlantic City? Plus, AC has more casinos, right? We love Atlantic City as well. Right. So don't write us off completely for Connecticut, but I think that's kind of what's working against it.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I did enjoy the casino.
Oh, yeah. I love being there. And that's why I'm saying I'd love to be able to go back if it were a little more convenient. But when you think about it, gosh, for me, especially San Diego to Rhode Island, that's almost as far as you can fly within the continental United States, right? So,
Well, I mean, you could go up to Kennebunkport, Maine, or something.
well, yeah, I'm saying that's why it's almost the longest
Yeah.
flight you could do. But
It is.
you take my meaning.
It is quite a long flight.
Yeah.
But you're working now. See, when you're not working, maybe you'll have the time. You won't mind the long flight because you're going to stay there for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. There you go. Now you hit it. Stay there for 2
Yeah,
weeks.
for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Got it. Anyway, don't completely write us off, Vito. Put some pressure on us. That might help. Maybe we'll get back up to Connecticut.
Yeah, we're like stone. I mean, when we say something, we're set on it. But with a little pressure, a little bit of erosion, we just crumble. We're like
Okay.
sandstone.
Or like a stone. I got you. Or like sandstone. Okay.
Yeah, we're like sandstone.
Yeah, and then Vito talking about that time at Bally's. Yeah, I think it was for Zorkfest. And I do remember that. I think the most I got, so I started at $25 on the 4 and then basically doubled it every time it hit. So I went from 25 to 50 to 100 to 200 to 400 to 800. And I think I got it up to $1,600. And that was the highest I got it. It didn't hit when it was at 1,600. So yeah, close to 2,000. But yeah, I remember that. That was fun.
Yep. It's always fun when you got those outside numbers pressed up.
Oh, yeah. And they just
even a 6 or an 8 when you're up there.
But, the fun thing about doubling up on the 4 and 10 is that you get paid 2 to 1, minus the VIG, of course.
Right.
So you're actually getting a lot back. When you press a 6 all the way, you're only getting a small amount actually back to you. So, of course, 6s and 8s hit more often, so you're more likely to be able to press that many times. So that's the trade-off.
It's nice when you press it and it hits right back.
Yeah, that is nice.
6 and an 8. Sometimes those 4s and 10s, you got to wait a little. And then sometimes you don't. Sometimes some guy will
comes up. But if you were just doubling your 6 or 8 every time, you wouldn't be collecting a lot of money. That's all I'm saying. You'd want to maybe not double it.
In the long run,
maybe press half or something like that. So
yeah. Well, as our good friend Jack would say, you do have the option just to bet a $1,600 4 or a
straight away
$1,500 6 straight out.
I don't think that's true.
Check into that.
All right, I'll check with Jack, but no, I don't. That doesn't sound right. I don't think that's true.
They will. What do you say? They will accept that bet where you just bet right on it.
I don't think so, Jack.
Then I wouldn't be playing with house money, Jack. The gambler's creed. It's house money when it's convenient, and when it's not convenient, it's your money.
Yeah, it's house money. I brought it from my house.
Yeah, right. This is wife money.
Wife money. That's wife money. You sure you want to press that? Yeah, it's wife money.
Yeah.
I don't mind playing with wife money.
Yeah. It's college tuition money for the kids. Yeah. It doesn't really matter.
Call it tuition money. I wouldn't play with my own money.
Nah.
It's too much. All right, next call.
Hey guys, it's Will from Texas. I was just walking through the Cosmopolitan and I happened to look over to the Face Up Pai Gow table and they have a sign that says all fouled hands are automatic losers. I don't remember you guys talking about that on the show, but it's kind of lame to be like that instead of the dealer helping you out. But anyway, just thought you might be interested in that. Talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, good. Yeah, we've been talking recently about fouled hands on Face Up Pai Gow poker and how I actually fouled twice when I was at the Orleans and they just, oh no, you would have played it this way, you would have won or you would have pushed and, they just let it go through. But at Cosmopolitan, at least, they're saying, hey, all fouled hands are losers. And one of the reasons they may do this, we got an email from a listener about this too a while back, is that some players might be angle shooting and deliberately fouling their hands to confuse the dealer into thinking their hands pushed when they really would have lost if they hadn't fouled, or won when they really would have pushed. It's something where if they just look real quick, oh, okay, yeah, it's a push, not checking to see it was foul. So they want to discourage those angle shooters, at least at Cosmo, and say, hey, if the hand's fouled, you lose.
Nah, that could be. Or it could be they're just losing money in the Keno Lounge and they're trying to make up for it at Pai Gow.
Yeah, the Cosmopolitan Keno Lounge is losing money. So that's how they're making
or
up
the
for
lack of a Keno Lounge.
I remember we had a listener once who said that they had a dealer who didn't know the rules of the game and was letting people foul their hands in order to win instead of push or push instead of lose. So that's what you want, is you want a casino representative telling you, yeah, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
And I will pay accordingly.
It just doesn't sound like a good business model.
I don't know. All right, next call.
Hey there, Mark and Dr. Mike. I always learn something from your show, and today what I learned is that it pays to call in early. Meant to call in Saturday and identify myself as Jim from Ohio, but as I heard on your latest episode, there is already a Jim from Ohio with a better voice and more intelligent things to say than me. I guess I'm other Jim from Ohio or yet another. And then I thought, okay, well, fine. My news is still interesting in that I had a low roller royal flush, having held just the ace on a Ultimate X game. But then the very next caller had something real similar happen. So mine was only a 10-cent unit, and I was only playing 3 lines, so my win was a grand $400. But hey, not too shabby. But again, I guess that's nothing now either. So instead, I gave you an idea that I had for you. Listening to your back catalog, I notice a lot of times people will call in and they'll accidentally say Dr. Mark and Mike, or they'll get that screwed up somehow. And a lot of times you find yourselves having to say, well, we are not lawyers, but yada, yada, yada. So now that you're in the twilight of your gambling careers, as Jim Prime from Ohio might say, what I suggest is that Mark should spend some of his free time going to night school, law school, get yourself a Juris Doctorate. And that way, not only can you say, well, we are lawyers, so yada, 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 but when people call in and identify you guys as doctors, Mark and Mike, it'd be weird, but still technically correct. So anyways, great show. Hope you have a fine rest of the day, and I'll try back later when I'm maybe one more Jim from Ohio or something. See you.
All right. Thanks, Jim. So the two problems are sometimes people say Dr. Mark, and the other problem is that we're not lawyers. And we constantly remind people of that. So me going to law school, getting a doctorate would solve both of those problems.
Yeah, but do you want to be called Dr. Mark as an attorney? You want to be Barrister Mark. I like that barrister. Or you could just do this. You're in your mid-60s. You go to law school. You get your degree. You practice for a year. Then you run for judge, and then you're the honorable Mark.
Yeah. Those are all really good ideas, but
it's either that or get a job changing TVs in a casino.
Oh, that's my dream job. I'm going to shoot for that. I wonder if you can get a doctorate in that. Because I'm not so concerned about the lawyering. But yeah, Dr. Mark, I like the sound of that. I'm going to try to get a doctorate in TV channel changing in casinos.
How about just getting a doctorate in computer science or something that you're really good at?
I'm getting close to retirement. I don't want anything to do with computers after that.
Oh, yeah, Mark, you got to retire. It's the best thing ever. The kids at school tease me all the time, and they always say something like, well, what are you going to do next year? Dentist and gambler and teacher and blah, blah, blah. They go down the list of all the things I've done. And what I've been telling them lately is I've got 3 choices. Go back into the school system, 1.
Yeah.
2, go into MMA fighting.
All right, another option, yeah.
Or 3, be one of those wrestlers like the Mexican wrestling.
Oh, yeah, like Lucha Libre?
Yeah. So those are my choices. I really haven't decided. I'm going to go with one of them.
All right.
I mean, obviously, professional gamblers out.
Yeah, maybe you could play poker, but you're just not a very good poker player. So
I'm not a very good poker player because I have no patience for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what I'm supposed to do. I just have no patience.
Yeah. You know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, pick up the cards and roll them. Come on, let's go. Coming out.
Hands high.
Hands high.
All right, let's move on. Next up is Nate.
Hey guys, Nate from Atlanta here, and I just listened to your episode on overnight Keno, and I just really enjoyed it. Probably one of my favorite episodes that you've done. It kind of got me thinking a little bit about my evolution as a gambler, starting as a young kid that would have those kind of quote unquote dark moments where I lost more money than I was proud of. Never really a problem for my lifestyle or anything, but yeah, definitely shameful amounts of money that I lost. And now I'm a lot more disciplined, especially with like session management and bankroll management and just making sure that I'm having fun but not losing huge chunks of money. So that's really nice. But the other thing, gentlemen called about enjoying all the amenities at the ocean, enjoying all the resort amenities up there. And, that's really kind of something I enjoy now is enjoying the rest of the resorts outside of the casino floor, checking out places I've never been to, seeing shows, restaurants, just things in the community. When we go to Cherokee, I love checking out new hikes to the point where planning the trips tends to be as much fun as actually going on the trips. I love just kind of thinking through them and planning them out. I actually have a custom GPT I made that has access to a list of things that I'm interested in and might want to go to that I flag so I can plan it out with that. Also, like games that I've never played before and strategies on craps that I've never done. I've kind of trained the GPT to understand my approach to the game, plus my kind of risk-reward calculation I kind of mentally go through. And that's just fun for the planning of thinking through maybe a new strategy I heard on Color Up and talking to the GPT in the conversational mode about how I would go ahead and approach it with my approach to the game. So that's just a lot of fun these days. But the favorite part of the episode was the question about, have you ever invented a game that you thought about patenting? My friends and I play a game called Shut the Box, which is just a pretty common dice game. But we've turned it into a gambling game that we play when we get together on a vacation. It's a ton of fun. I wish I was industrious enough to patent that game and sell it because I'd be doing humanity a favor if that game was in a casino. It is such a blast, so much fun. Everyone who's ever introduced it to just really enjoys it a lot. So anyways, I really, really enjoyed the show. Speaking of birthdays, myself and one of my gambling buddies have a birthday this weekend. So we are going to Cherokee. We're going to mix it up a little bit by stopping by Valley River on the way up. It's kind of on the way. We've never been there. So just a chance to do something different, whack them for like a few $1,000s and then move on up to Cherokee. And
you got cut off there. Yeah, Cherokee again. All right, it's coming, it's coming. He's talking about Shut the Box. Mike, I don't know if you're familiar with that term, but
No,
remember
I'm
the
not.
old game show High Rollers with Alex
Yes.
Trebek, right?
Uh-huh,
And
yep.
there were 9 numbers, 1 through 9 on this board, and you had to roll dice to eliminate the numbers, right? Like if you rolled a 4, you could get rid of the 4, or you could get rid of the 3 and the 1. Right.
Yeah.
So if you rolled a 9, you could get rid of the 9 or get rid of a 6 and 3. And the idea was to get rid of all the numbers. That's Shut the Box. That's what that game is.
Okay.
And so, yeah, you can see how you could probably make a pretty good gambling game. So good luck, Nate, if you follow up with that and actually try to make it a game. Might be kind of fun. I found the game to be a little frustrating because, now I have to roll a 3 or there's no way I can eliminate the board, right? It's like, I have to do this. So, but there you go. But kind of a popular dice game.
It's one of those things where it's so hard to go through all the process of something.
Yeah.
And you have to ask yourself, is this really worth it? What if it doesn't take off and I've spent hours upon hours trying to get this game?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you have to be, first of all, in the right frame of mind. And second, you have to have the time to do it.
Oh, yeah. And the patience, because it's going to get frustrating.
Yeah, it's going to get frustrating. And if you've got a family or children or something, who has time for that?
Yeah. That's why you go into podcasting. Because, you don't have to report to anybody. You just do it. And maybe it's successful, maybe it's not. But
And some podcasters, start again, stop again.
Yeah.
You never know where they're going to show up.
Never know.
Yeah. Nate was talking about the planning of something is almost as, for Lynn and I, the thing that we get the most enjoyment out of is just driving and then just, I wonder where that road goes. There's so many county roads and side roads in this part of the country, and they're different, right? It's like if you're in a city, where's that road go? Well, it's a housing development, and there's just a bunch of houses, which we used to do some of that there too. But here it's like, I wonder where that goes. And sometimes it goes a long ways and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
We got to one the other day. It was just like a dead end.
Yeah. Yeah.
a dead end. There wasn't even much room to turn around.
Yeah, you're almost stuck. And yeah.
Yeah, what the hell were we thinking? But it's always an adventure. I tell her it's always an adventure. You never know what you're going to find.
I think a lot of people, not just gamblers, not just people who go to Las Vegas, really enjoy that planning process because it gets you excited.
Yeah.
You think
Right.
about what's coming up. So, yeah, I think that's pretty common.
Anticipation is
Yeah.
always better than the real act, right?
Well, always, I don't know, but I take your point.
In some cases.
He was talking about the dark side of gambling that we kind of touched upon on our last episode. And we actually got a lot of positive feedback from people or saying that they enjoyed that we talked about it. Because, yeah, you get into some of these spots where you feel bad about yourself. It's like, I can't believe how much money I just lost. Now, there's serious problem gambling, where people really need help. And then there are cases where maybe you're not a problem gambler clinically, but you have a session that you really shouldn't have had.
Right.
You let your emotions take over, or you just
get carried away.
got carried away, and then afterwards, you just feel terrible about it. And honestly, if you're any kind of gambler, we've all gone through that. And so, yeah, it is kind of healthy to talk about and say, hey, I've been through this too, and here's how you avoid this in the future if you can. And,
it's not just gambling either, Mark. It's everything in life.
Well, yeah, sure. You can talk about overeating, any kind of.
We've all done something and thought, why the heck did we do that?
Sure. Yeah.
And it takes a lot of self-control and stuff. For instance, going to a buffet, you talked about overeating. I mean, I almost always eat more than I really should.
Sure,
have.
you're
And
thinking,
then
I got to get, make it worth my money. Yeah.
And then I feel miserable afterwards.
Yeah.
And then, remember Paul, he hates going to buffets because for that reason, he says, I never feel good after.
Yeah.
I'd rather just get a regular meal and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we all have those things. You could say that about relationships with other people. Like, why did I spend so much time, with that person? Or why didn't I spend more time with that person? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's life. And so the answer is quite simple, Nate. It's what we do.
It's what we do. I love it's what we do, but I don't want to have that carry over into dark moments. All right, I don't want you to come up to me.
Answer to justify the dark
that's
moment.
fun enough,
Well,
and I like saying that. But when I've lost way more than I intended to, and I feel crappy about myself, and you come up and put your arm around my shoulder and says it's what we do, I don't think that helps.
Well, you got to justify it somehow.
Well, no.
So, that starts the healing process.
All right, send your letters directly to Dr. Mike.
I'm no psychiatrist, but it works for me.
Yeah, I'll bet it does. All right, last call.
Hey, guys, this is Jeff. I'm currently on I-35, heading back towards the Des Moines area after visiting Diamond Joe Worth for the third time. I like to go to Vegas here and there. Love playing craps. Was taking my son to Minnesota for hockey over Christmas break, and we stopped at the gas station in Clear Lake, found one of his teammates, and said, hey, can he ride up with you the rest of the way? They said, no problem, so I popped into Diamond Joe, had a fun crap session, didn't really win much, but then was really shocked at the rewards that Boyd offered me after, having a day at the craps table. Wasn't betting huge, 44 inside, 20 on the line, but found a good amount of free play come my way and free rooms. So I'm heading to Vegas, going to take them up on their rooms at Main Street Station and the Cal, wondering if you were heading to Vegas and you had to stay in a Boyd property, where's it going to be? Yeah, I'm kind of liking these Boyd rewards, but I think the jig might be up because I checked the rooms now and they're all at higher rates. So who knows? Maybe Caesars is the way to go. But definitely beats the old Prairie Meadows in Des Moines. The crews are much better. It's nice you can get a drink while you're gambling. Meadows is fine. They got some decent dealers, but then also a few that are kind of crabby. So, I don't know. I'm heading up to Diamond Joe. Hopefully, we'll get to catch a game with Dr. Mike soon. So, all right, guys, that's what I'm curious. What's your favorite Boyd property in Vegas? Thanks.
All right, thanks, Jeff. I'll go first, Mike, and then you can say. For me, I'd have to say the Orleans, just because I've stayed there a few times and really enjoy it. Now, it's not really close to anything else. You have to get in the car and drive if you want to go downtown or to the Strip, but I really like it there, so I would say the Orleans.
Yeah, I'd probably go with one of the downtown.
One of the downtown ones. You probably haven't stayed at one, though, have you?
No.
Yeah,
not in
me
Vegas.
either, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, if I had to stay at one, I'd probably, go downtown just because it'd be easier to go to different places.
Yeah. If I didn't pick Orleans, I'd agree with you, Mike. Somewhere downtown. I don't know who has renovated the most recently. It might be Fremont, might be the Cal. But yeah, one of those down there. And then
Yeah.
you're close to everything else as well.
I'm not real big on the Cal, so I guess Fremont.
Yeah,
would
or
be
maybe Main Street Station, because they
place I'd
have, I
go.
think it's like 20 times odds on craps. The others have like
Yeah,
double odds
yeah.
or something. But again, I don't
Right.
know what their rooms are like
It's always
necessarily, so-
crowded there.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see, where besides Diamond Joe, I'm trying to think of where I've stayed in a Boyd property.
Well, in Biloxi, didn't you stay at IP? Wasn't that a
Oh, in
Boyd
Biloxi.
property?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's where it was. I knew there was somewhere. I
Yeah.
thought about it in Colorado. Do they have a Boyd property there?
I don't
Maybe
think
not.
so. I don't
that's
think
what
so, yeah.
the
Right.
state
Otherwise, you would have done
compares.
it, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, there are quite a few of them, and I will agree with Jeff that the reward program at these Boyd properties is very good.
Well, and I know.
mean, I haven't gone a lot recently,
Yeah.
just because of different reasons, and I'm still getting like $400 free play every week.
I think as a big player, you're probably they're giving you more consistently. For me, when I played at Diamond Joe, the Boyd offers I got initially were really good. They're still okay now, but I think this is pretty common. When you initially get offers from a players club that
Yeah,
you've
they're
just joined, they're going to be a little higher than maybe down the road. And that could have been what happened with Jeff here. But I thought it was great when I stayed at Diamond Joe Worth, and then more than a year after that, I got basically everything paid for at the Orleans. So, yeah, good program.
Yeah, they're pretty decent. I think better than Caesars. Not that Caesars is terrible.
No,
but
maybe better than Caesars. Caesars, I will say, they love giving away free rooms. So
Yes.
it's probably the easiest players club to get a free room out of. So,
Yeah.
That is one thing they have going for them.
and that's something that I don't want to say that doesn't hurt them that much, but it's probably on a risk reward thing for the casino. It's probably less of a risk to give somebody a free room than it is to give them a bunch of free play.
Oh, absolutely.
right.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Hey, Tim Lawson over at The Better Life. He gave us a very nice donation for your school fund, Dr. Mike.
Yes,
so
very
thanks again
nice.
for
Thank
that,
you, Tim.
Yeah.
Tim is one of those people that, is always trying to make the world better.
Yeah, that's a real good way to put it, Dr. Mike. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
He is that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we want to thank people who have donated to our GoFundMe page. Mike, I don't think you have any names available right now. Maybe we'll go through some names on our next episode. Sound good?
Yeah, I had some that I said before, but yeah, there's been a few
If there's
more,
some new ones,
so.
yeah. So we'll get to that next episode. And we want to thank some people for some recurring donations to the show. Jeremy over at the Color Up YouTube channel. We heard a mention of him. He's always got interesting craps strategies that you can try out and have fun with. Also a donation from listener Kurt and from Brian Dancer and from Nathan. Thank you very much for those recurring donations. We also got a donation from Robin Aubin, who we heard from earlier. Thank you very much, Robin. Also, Raji made a bet for us for the Super Bowl on the Chiefs. So thanks for that try, Raji. We appreciate that. Yep. And finally, a donation from listener Robert. Karma donation for Vegas half marathon trip with my son and running buddy beginning February 21st. Please pass to Dr. Mike's school needs and the podcast. Oh, well, good luck, Robert. Have a great run and have fun in
Yeah.
Vegas.
Hopefully it's not too cold when they're out there running.
Oh, that's good for runners. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's not going to be as cold as where it is where you are now.
Oh, no. I think currently, right now, without the wind chill, it's like -6. or
Yeah, that's
something.
just stupid.
It is stupid. I'll agree with you on that.
Hey, at the top of our webpage, you'll find a link to our store where you can buy You Can Bet on That merchandise. Also, you can find a list of all the gambling-related shows coming up on American television at youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings. And we've got a list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonthat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 951-2-WAGERS.
9512 wagers.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonthat@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter at You Can Bet On That and on Facebook at facebook.com/You Can Bet On That. All right, Dr. Mike, over to you.
Well, on a serious note, first off, I want to say thanks for everyone who's donated. And just so they know, recently we got the high school here a new stove.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we're using that money for the special education room. It's for kids who are out of high school. They can come to the school up until the age of 25 every day. These are people who are severely handicapped.
Mm-hmm.
So the stove they had went out, wasn't working. We bought them a new stove. And these people, there's 4 or 5 in there now who they learn life skills like how to cook for themselves.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And, how to take care of themselves if they're ever like in a situation where they might be able to live with a few other people, but they can still cook
That's
and
great.
make meals and stuff. And here's the best part, Mark. You're going to love this. Remember all those pans and dishes over the years that I collected
That's
from,
right. The giveaways from the casinos. Yeah.
from the casinos? Yeah, they all got pans and dishes for their wherever they're living.
That's great. Oh, that's so
Yep.
great, Mike.
Finally went to good use. I carried them up from the casino home, then to Minnesota. And now they're cleaned out. They're going to people who really need pots and pans.
Good job, Dr. Mike.
Everyone who donated. I can't tell you how valuable that is
That's
because some of these kids have some real, hard life.
Yeah.
So, and on a less serious note, Mark, I am so ready for baseball.
Oh, hey,
And
here it
I
comes.
just got my notice from MLB. They automatically are signing me up for the MLB package.
Good.
So I can watch every game right here at home.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a problem. They block out some games,
Like Minnesota Twins games?
No. The Twins games I can always see. Like, well, tonight's game is blacked out.
Because it's like on Apple TV or
Yeah,
it's
right. It's on
some
Apple
other.
TV.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
And sometimes, I even got Apple TV for a while just because there were a few games on there that I wanted to see.
I
and stuff.
see. Yeah. Okay.
You're paying all that money. Show me all the games.
I hear you.
How many people do you think in the United States have the MLB network? They paying, $150.
I have no idea, but it's got to be a lot.
You think it's a lot?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
Especially for people like you who have
Right.
moved away
Right, and
from
wanna watch
the
their
market where
home
your favorite team is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also I think a lot of people who do that fantasy baseball like it because they can check in on their
Flip
players.
over to any game.
Any
Yeah.
game, yeah,
Mhm.
check in
Yeah.
on their players and see what they're doing, or watch other players so they know who to trade for.
Yeah,
or,
right.
Who's doing well or whatever. But anyway, yeah, when baseball comes, that's like come home, eat dinner.
Yeah, it's
sit in my
every day. That's what I
chair.
love about baseball.
It's every day.
Every day. Yep.
It almost pisses you off when it's a day they don't have a game. Like this Monday. Oh, no game Monday? What? But there's always other teams you can watch.
Right.
so.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll do good this year. I don't know.
Yeah, you're the Padres, I assume you're talking about.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm talking about the Padres. I read an article where they were still in the top 10.
All right, just stop reading
teams.
articles, okay? It's just going to break your heart.
I know, but I'm a glutton. It's what I do.
All right, okay, that I'll give you. It's what you do. I'll give you that one.
Other than that, everything's going great.
Okay, very good. Well, stay warm, Dr. Mike. I will
Yeah,
let you know
too.
how
Stay
I'm going to the
dry.
casino tomorrow. I don't think I mentioned
that's
that
right.
yet. Yeah. So
Yeah.
for the first time this year, oh my gosh, it's halfway through February. So I'll let you know how that goes.
This is going to be really a big deal because, if you lose, you're down for the year.
I know. I'm definitely up for poker since I won Dave's tournament.
yeah,
so I'm
right.
pretty confident there. But yeah, this will determine how I'm doing for actual gambling, what I consider actual gambling.
Casino gambling, yeah. Where you don't have a super big edge like you do at poker.
Yeah, I don't have a super big edge at the craps table. You're right about that, Dr. Mike. All right. Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Did you guys see me? I was on fire tonight. Man, I can't wait to get back to the shore. God, I love gambling!